cool ways you can use right now to start thinking outside of the box.
Just go for it!
Hey, Daniel here, and I really hope you liked that solo snippet I just showed you. At the end of this video, I'll put everything in a full solo to show you how to implement all these concepts I'm about to show you today. But first, do you ever feel like you're playing the same ideas, like you're stuck in a box, you're stuck in a rut? I recently sent out a survey to my online students asking what type of challenges do you face as a guitar player? And how can I help? I was kind of surprised to hear that most of them were asking me to talk about how to think outside of the box and how to be more creative and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, this is what I'm going to talk about in this video. I felt the exact same way, and these concepts shifted my playing big time, and I'm sure they're going to help you. I use them every day in every style I play. If it's my music or if I'm playing with another artist, touring with anyone, I always use these concepts. Lots of amazing musicians, not only guitar players, implement these concepts as basic fundamentals of their playing. And I believe that any guitar player that is taking his playing seriously should take this concept seriously. Okay, that's it. Here we go. Number 1. Think harmony. Triads. You might already know this, but here is a brief description about triads. Triads are made up of 3 notes played on top of each other, the most fundamental chords in all music. They consist of a bottom note, root, a middle note called the third, and a top note called the fifth. Triads can be inverted by moving the lowest notes up an octave. The lowest note, also called the bass note, determines the name of the inversion. When the lowest note is the root of the chord, the triad is in root position. When the lowest note is the third of the chord, the triad is in first inversion. And when the lowest note is the fifth of the chord, the triad is in second inversion. There are quite a few types of musical triads, such as major, minor, diminished, augmented, and sus chord triads. So first of all, make sure you know all these triads on the guitar and their inversion. So that's really fundamental. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I chose these chords: E minor, F, C, and D flat. But you can choose any progression. This would apply to any kind of harmony that you can think about. Alright, so here are some cool stuff you can do with triads. First, let me play them for you one by one. If you have 6 strings, you have 4 sets of 3. So you have 4 sets to discover these triads on. So make sure you know them all. And if it helps, the third and the fourth set share the same shapes. You can voice lead triads to the nearest position, creating this smooth transition within chords. So instead of playing just whatever bar chord you know, you can create a voice-led part on any chord progression or song you choose. Alright, cool stuff? Definitely arpeggios. How these vertical or horizontal shapes of these triads connect into these cool arpeggios. Check this out. Now I'm going to add one note to each one of these chords, so I'm getting a 4-note arpeggio. For example, let's add the 9. Or we can add the 7. And so on. To really get out of the rut and get your playing flowing, practice having chord scales over any type of chord you have. So if you play a chord, right there you got the scale. So anytime you play a chord, stop and say, wait, do I have the chord scale for this chord? And if not, figure it out. That will make a huge difference in your playing. Huge. And of course, you can combine the arpeggios we talked about with the chord and with the scale. So now you have this vertical station that you can express ideas with. So here I'm playing a chord, then I'm playing the arpeggio, and then I'm connecting the scale. See how that sounds? Another very powerful way related to scales is to practice scale patterns. And you have so many of those, but I'm going to show you a few. For example, let's take this F Lydian position. So here's the scale. Here's the same scale but played in thirds. And here's the scale played in diatonic triads. And here is the scale played in diatonic 7 chords. And here's the scale with different intervals. And so on and so on. So you see where this is going, right? Practice scale patterns. Number 3 is super powerful, and that's either adding chromatic or from the scale approach notes. So approach notes are super powerful to color any chord, any arpeggio, any scale, anything you play. So check that out.
Just go for it!
Please feel free to ask me any question about the topic in the comments below. I will answer every question. Also, please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.